It's the week of the Steam Next Festival, so be prepared for hundreds of demos, so I think it's foolish to release an indie game this week, but people do try, so let's begin with Subpar Pool, a sports title which is golf meets pool. It comes to us from the developer of the mobile hit Hold Down and looks adorable. Again, I don't know why developers chose this week to release, since we have a number of 1.0 releases, but why this week is the big question. But anyway, Ikonei Island, an Earthlock adventure, is doing just that, coming out of early access, and is a cozy farm sim of interest. This is a spin-off of the Earthlock turn-based RPG games, in which you're doing the farming sim stuff of growing plants, crafting tools and gear, and building up your base, and where there's a primary antagonist in pirates who have captured various creatures that you have to rescue. It is very cozy and has been in early access for about a year, so now that it's done, maybe development on Earthlock 2 will accelerate. This video is brought to you by Jett Rider, an action-packed 2D run-and-gun platformer with RPG elements in which you play as a space sweeper who was supposed to only be cleaning up after the wreckage of an ill-fated cargo ship, but then finds himself on a much larger adventure on the planet of Gravos. Our hero has a variety of powerful weapons and a jetpack at his disposal, which will come in handy when dealing with various enemies and even boss fights, as he completes challenging quests and saves the planet and its people, but is delivered with a dash of humor. The streamlined upgrade system sees you turning space junk into money and then using that for upgrades, with rare golden idols to collect to exchange for special items. This will be releasing on Steam and all major consoles in early 2024, so if interested, check out the free demo via the link in the description below as part of the Steam Next Festival, wishlist the game, join their Discord, and follow them on social media for updates about Jett Rider. I've had my eye on this title since I'm becoming more of a dad and might turn into a train person, which makes RAILGRADE a title of interest, a management sim that is all about building tracks. You have the task of transporting raw materials between their source and factories, with some impressive looking construction systems, and just looks like fun watching the trains move around. Ever since games like Factorial came into the picture, conveyor belts have become all the rage, but there's still something to the good old-fashioned railway, and I'm interested to see what they do with this. Hey, if you made it this far, subscribe to my weekly newsletter to keep on top of all things indie games, link in the description below. Okay, I'm not quite sure where to put this, since technically Haunted House is being developed by Orbit Studio, who is a relatively small team as far as I know, but they have been engaged by Atari to remake one of their classic games and does look kind of awesome. For context, I have no experience with the original Haunted House, so I don't know how this compares, but this is a roguelite title with a spooky twist, in which you have to sneak around the mansion searching for pieces of a magical urn, but adding in procedural generation and randomized levels if you fail, so a stealth-focused roguelite seems like a neat idea and is perfect for the season, but come on, the timing could be better, so if anyone from Atari is watching, drop me a DM if you need me to consult.
We are a proud people. We are resourceful. We built our own home here.
Another very impressive title releasing out of early access is Land of the Vikings, one that has amassed 1000 Steam reviews and a very positive rating while still in early access, so there's something to this survival city builder. It's not a fantasy title, so don't expect monsters from Norse mythology, but rather, as Vikings, you have to send out raiding parties to get resources in order to survive the winter, and is of interest to fans of the genre. Bigger games begin with Lords of the Fallen, the confusingly named title that is a sequel to a game of the same name from 2014, and is a grimdark Souls-like title, being the other major one of the year next to Lies of P, and is of interest to fans of the genre. The River City Ransom franchise is in the hands of Arc System Works right now, best known for the Blaze Blue fighting games, with River City Rival Showdown being a remake of the 1989 classic with both beat-em-up action against NPCs as well as a PvP fighting game mode. This next title is interesting since it has a lot of attention, in which The Front is yet another first-person survival game with monsters/zombies as the enemies, and has people comparing this to DayZ. However, apparently it's by a studio from Singapore, and if I'm looking at the correct thing, was the company just registered locally in March this year with no about page, no presence on LinkedIn, and no one really repping the game, so it's definitely an anomaly that is one to watch. Smaller games begin with Gearbits, a third-person mecha action title that looks like a throwback and seems kind of okay. Install Fee Tycoon is a parody clicker game that pokes fun at the recent BS that Unity came up with and looks like a cheeky entry.
You've got mail. Greetings! We are the makers of the
Chaos
3D game engine. As you may have heard, we recently updated our pricing model so that developers must pay us 20 cents every time a
Chaos
3D game is installed. This new policy announcement went over great. Everyone loves it. No criticism. No, fools have no idea what's in store for them. Our proposition to you is simple. Attach as a bat file that will reinstall a random
Chaos
3D game on your system. You'll be paid in
Chaos
coin for every install, and you were selected because of your massive library of pirated games. Yes, we know about fraudulent installs. We've known for years. In fact, you can even use your contacts on the dark web to manage even more installs. You might have to help a friend or two along the way, of course, but that's just part of the fun. When you're ready, please click here to begin the download and start making money.
Hello? Can anyone hear me? My name is Tessa Carter, explorer of the Intergalactic Mining Corporation.
It's all right. Please, calm down. You're safe. Do you know what happened?
We crashed, and when I woke up, there was smoke everywhere.
One of you in the comments did mention how there are multiple games with the title Monolith, and this is no exception, which probably caused the developer of that other roguelite to change the name to Star of Providence, but going back to this, it's a point-and-click adventure game with a curious narrative.
Just surviving.
And you made it. You should be proud of yourself.
I'm not really.
What did you find there?
It's all a bit hazy, but I remember that we weren't the first people to enter that planet. And I remember feeling insecure and desperate, but also free and euphoric at the idea of discovering something new and overcoming obstacles. I've explored many strange places before, but I've never felt so alive anywhere else. There was something else. I felt inhibited. Like something was holding me back. Something from my past. Something about my family that I was trying to repress.
Perhaps it was triggered by your loneliness.
Perhaps. But now I know that I have to change something. Are we going to see my family?
As soon as you're able, and you finished your report.
Good. I'll try to remember everything. There's one image that I can't stop thinking about.
It'd be best if you started at the beginning. We have a lot to discuss.
Similarly, Submachine Legacy is a point-and-click adventure game that reminds me of the Rusty Lake games, but critically is not from those folks, being a throwback to the Flash game era and could be neat. Horror adventure games are usually not my thing, but it's very apt for the season, with the Coffin of Andy and Leyley being of interest, in which brother and sister practice cannibalism after witnessing a botched satanic ritual and looks disturbing. Let's kick off the top 5 with Salt Sea Chronicles, the next game from the developer of Mutazione and has a similar art style. This developer is known for their writing and narratives, which appears to be present in this game as well, centered around a pirate captain being kidnapped and a ship impounded, which leaves the crew to have to pull off a daring heist. It takes place in a post-flood world, so it means underwater ruins to explore, in which you pick where to go and who to send on expeditions as you work towards your own goals. Another game that is fitting for the season is Harvest Island, a farming sim that has horror elements and is beautifully expressed through the trailer and selection of music. It looks like a cozy farm sim on the surface, in which you can pray to the gods and don't ask questions, farming in the day and staying in and around your home, not venturing too far out. Or you could do the opposite to see what horrors the island holds. As such, it's another creepy game for October and is a twist on the formula that makes it of interest. If you're an indie developer and have no idea how to start with marketing your game, get on my mailing list via the link in the description below, where I'll send you some free templates and guides soon. Another long in development title that releases out of early access is Long Gone Days, which launched in 2018, so that's 5+ years in early access and for the final version to come out. This is an RPG title set in a world at war, in which a man, trained from birth to be a sniper, finds out that the organization he was raised in isn't that noble after all, having an interesting contrast between the simplicity of everyday life and the horrors of war. The turn-based combat is interesting since you can manually target enemy weak points, and where it explores themes and ideas like a language barrier, presumably between soldiers and civilians, and the moral dilemma on what to do, and looks intriguing. I previewed this title when looking at upcoming games of the month, in which Run Gore is of interest since it's a roguelite deck builder but with the twist of real-time combat, so I don't think there's anything quite like this on the market. You not only have to strategically play your cards, but also have to play them rapidly, adding speed and action to a traditionally slower genre. It has a good look as well, and apparently is filled with memes and funny stuff, so I have to see this for myself and you should as well. I've had my eye on this title for quite a while since the developer of this top-down Souls-like title did reach out to me in 2022, set in the dark fantasy crumbled kingdom of Andromeda, and our exiled warrior protagonist must find a way to recover his memories and to unravel a conspiracy. The Golden-Eyed Ghosts has a neat look and good-looking action, as well as heart-wrenching choices to make, with the developers explicitly stating that you are not a hero, but are just a broken man trying to walk his own path in the world, looking like an intriguing setup with more of the best grimdark games in this video.